हरे कृष्ण। सिंह जय राधा माधव। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, 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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा जयो राधा माधव, जयो राधा माधव, राधा माधव, जयो राधा माधव, जयो राधा माधव, जयो राधा माधव, जयो राधा माधव, जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा, पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा, पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद, जय श्री कृष्ण श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanandi. Harinaam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamudra ki jai. Gopāl ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll read from Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, verse number 8 to 12. 4 verses are together. So we all got 13.8. 13.8. So we'll chant prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhaktirvavneshti Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pandam Langayate Giram Yatkravatam Vande Sri Giram Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So reading text 8 to 12. Amanitvam, Adam Vidvam, Ahimsa, Shandir, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vinigraha. So I will read the entire line. Amanitvam Adam Vidvam, Ahimsa Shandirarjavam, Acharyopasanam Shaucham, Stairyam Atma Vinigraha. Next verse. Indriyarteshu Vairagyam, Anahangara Evacha, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Easy to follow, right? No need to go by word, right? anapishvanga putradaragrahadishu nityam cha samachitvam ishtanishtoba pattishu. Mayi chananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsati adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam edajnanamidhi proktam ajnanam yat ato anyadaha. Somebody want to read one or two verses? It's easy. You want to read? The eighth verse you can read. Okay, verse, the Sanskrit verse.
This starts with humility.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking the Sanskrit. You want to read the Sanskrit?
I can't.
You can't. Okay, then we'll go for the translation. Yeah, you read the translation. So we'll read translation, and it's a big purport, so we'll skip the purport for time being because 24 pages long.
Humility,
Yeah.
righteousness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for absolute truth. All these are declared to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance.
So we are hearing from Krishna saying that what is knowledge. So jnanatmirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshunamritam yena tasmai sri gurve namaha namo vishnupadaya krishna krishna namo vishnupadaya krishna krishnaya bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Dhamani Namaste Rasudevi Gauravani Prajarani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Sri Prabhupada Jai. This is clear, right? My voice is clear. So everybody has gone through education, right? So-called education. That's the main thing. Okay. So most of us are in graduate levels, right? I think some of us are in postgraduate. Somebody is in a doctorate level as well. But currently, like everybody thinks, at least you have to become a graduate to be recognized, a diploma, a degree, or something like that. So now, Krishna has a different version of what is called education. Okay. So Prabhu said, starting from humility, right? Humility. Okay. So Prabhupada actually says about these things which are said as categorized as knowledge. Okay. And in Ishopanishad, it is said that anything under this category, anything which doesn't come under this category is called nescience or not knowledge. opposite of knowledge. So whatever Krishna has categorized as knowledge, it will be coming under this list of things what we just read. Okay, and when I combine the reading with Ishopanishad, see, there is a mantra called Mantra 10. This is Ishopanishad. The wise have explained to us that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and it is said that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience. Okay. So there are two results that is obtained from culture of knowledge and nescience, opposite of knowledge. So we'll just go through, since we are not going through the purport there, purport is very long. We have a short purport here, we will go through that short purport here. So Prabhupada is concisely giving what is given in that purport. Okay. The culture of knowledge can be practically conducted in the following way, okay, as it is advised in Bhagavad Gita. There it is said that one should first, okay, point number 1, one should become a perfect gentleman himself and learn to give proper respect to persons other than himself. Okay, first point. So that is humility, what you said. Maybe you can point, when I say second, you can say what is next. The second one is, one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame. What is there in Prabhu? Pridelessness. Okay. Then we have, one should not become a source of anxiety to others by the actions of his body, mind or words. What is there, Prabhu? Tolerance. One should learn forbearance even if there is provocation from others. Non-violence. Okay, that the other one was non-violence. This is tolerance. Okay. One should learn to avoid duplicity in his dealings with others. Simplicity. We can also check whether we are following this. This is all. I mean, in the current world there is only duplicity. Duplicity is a virtue. Simplicity is not.
What is simplicity?
Simplicity means you say something and you do. Duplicity means you say something, but you actually do something else. Simplicity means whatever you mean or whatever you say, you also act according to that one. So basically, straightforward dealings. से 2 नंबर का मतलब क्या है ना, ऊपर से कुछ बोलेंगे, पीछे से कुछ और करेंगे. That is duplicity. Simplicity means okay, आप मेरे को बोलते हैं कि प्रभु मैं भगवान का सेवा करना चाहते हैं. Actually you mean that you want to do seva, not that you are just saying, but in my heart I don't want to do it. Not like that. कुछ और डाउट है वो?
I think simplicity in the way we live simple.
That is like simple living, high thinking. वो simplicity, that is like luxurious life में नहीं देना. मतलब this is the basic principle. Okay. मतलब आप जैसे बाइक से काम चला सकते हैं, फिर भी कार लेता है तो थोड़ा डुप्लिसिटी हो जाता है. लेकिन this is the basic principle. Okay, the 6th important one, and this Prabhupada actually uses words carefully. Okay, so far the 5th point till 5th point it is all one should. Okay, 6th point is one must. Okay, hear this: one must have a bona fide spiritual master who can lead him gradually to the stage of spiritual realization, and to such an acharya or spiritual master he must submit himself with service and relevant questions. Okay, Acharyopasanam in that sloka, right? So this is something which non-negotiable. The spiritual master, one must surrender. Okay, and Prabhupada even actually goes a step further and says that actually ऐसे नहीं बोलता है normally, फिर भी हम बोलता है कि sorry I am mixing Hindi and English, you tolerate. So everybody understand English right here. Hindi also. You understand, right? Hindi and English both. So I'll keep.
English as they say.
Huh?
English.
As that. So it goes even a step further and says that even if you are unable to follow some things. Okay, so there are some rules and regulations. But if you are serving your spiritual master faithfully, then in a very high amount is saying, no need to follow rules and regulations. You follow spiritual master. Basically it is saying, if you surrender, if you hear from your spiritual master, everything, rules and regulations will become easy for you. You naturally follow. It is not that we separately follow rules and regulations and we separately have to surrender to Guru. So when you surrender to Guru, rules and regulations becomes easy. So basically you will follow. Separately we are not recording. And the seventh one is saying, one must follow the regulatory principles enjoined in the revealed scriptures in order to approach the platform of spiritual realization. So regulatory principles as such is given to regulate our life from an animalistic life to a human life. So the basic thing that we say is kripa, right? I mean, you should have compassion to others. Say if you are on the platform human being, you should have compassion to all living entity. So सिर्फ human beings के साथ compassion नहीं है. You should also have the street dog है या कोई कबूतर है, सबके साथ, whatever is around you. Especially if a householder, then you have to treat all the living beings inside your house as your own children. It is वो जो lizard and cockroach है, right? उसको children की तरह मानना है, like domestic animals जैसे पालता है. So for a grasshopper it is like that, okay. For a human being to say, at least you should consider themselves as living beings, and you should deal with them. So you should not kill or eat any of these living entities. Okay. So that's what we say, no meat eating. Okay. So इस ये founding principle कृपा है, compassion है. इसके ऊपर we have a regulation. So then we say, okay, if you have to become this thing, so we'll say be a vegetarian easily, right? Be a vegetarian. Not vegetarian is not the thing. Compassion is the main this thing, but uska superficial thing, be a vegetarian. So the second thing is, anybody can say second thing. No intoxication. Okay. So intoxication means liquor or tea, coke, marijuana, LSD, high grade intoxicants, right? No to these ones. Why this regulation? Anybody can say. Okay. Prabhupada is saying no intoxicants if you have to come to a platform of human being. We tend to follow all these things, right? So why is that? Self-control. As per this one.
Yes, self-control.
Okay.
If you have those, you are not in control.
So yeah, so Prabhu was exactly referring to Bhagavad Gita. So basically self-control and austerity. Tapasya. If you're a drunkard, basically, you cannot do tapasya. Like getting up early in the morning for a drunkard is impossible. Right? If you consume poison in the night, you can't get up in the morning. Right? Morning getting up is set as one of the normal ritual. So if you have tapasya, then only you can actually progress in spiritual life. So that is a founding principle. So these are called pillars of religion. So one we come forward is mercy or compassion, kripa, then tapasya. Then what is the next principle, Prabhu? No gambling. And Prabhu said cleanliness. So no gambling. It's like you don't take lottery or you don't play in casinos or stocks, intraday trading. Okay. So anything which you're not certain, like which involves certain amount of money or your possession, and you are betting on something, right? Horse racing, right? Cricket. I think in our job also it is involving everyday gambling. Today we have a job, tomorrow we may not have a job. So it's like almost gambling is, we don't involve in direct gambling, but then life has almost become a gamble. Okay. So gambling, what do you think is the truthfulness? Okay. So truthfulness will be destroyed if you gamble in your life. So basically, like normally people who gamble, right? Why do they gamble?
Make instant.
Instant gratification. Basically, they want something for more money for more gratification very quickly, so they gamble. Okay. So it is against the normal process, untruthful, illegal. Okay. So gambling is these things. Okay. It destroys the pillar of truthfulness or satya. And Prabhu said cleanliness, right? I mean, so cleanliness by means of illicit sex. Okay, so if you take bath, right, then we are clean. In a sense, we are clean bodily. Okay, but mentally, when you engage in illicit affairs, right? So mentally you get corrupted. Like what do you say? They say adultery. The words they are using is like avyabhicharena. That is like, that's a word opposite to that. Vyabhicharena is like going towards adultery and all. Avyabhicharena, this thing. So that actually preserves our quality of cleanliness. The fourth thing. So 4 qualities or 4 pillars of religion, if you have to preserve, you have to follow all these 4 regulative principles. So basically it protects you from falling into the hell of irreligion. If you don't follow this, we are no better than a dog in the street. Okay. So but then modern civilization actually teaches you, it's like right opposite, right? Okay, make more money, drink. Okay, you eat. So when you say, normally we say, right? So those who drink naturally tend to eat non-veg things as well, right? Even if you are born in a pious vegetarian family in the north, first thing they start in the engineering colleges are drinking, right? They don't eat even eggs. Okay, they start, maybe some of you study in engineering college, you can see your friends what they are. First thing they start, they don't eat non-veg directly, because non-veg is pap hai, pap. Okay, but drinking, it's a vegetarian drink, right? They say save water, drink vodka. some kind of advertisements are there, right? Drinking is considered like a very, what do you call it? Not so sinful thing, because normally marna, pitna, wo sab nahi hota. But then what happens after drinking is something. Then they tend to eat non-veg. So for drinking they will gamble, right? For getting all this money, right? Drinking involves a lot of money, right? Many people are not able to save money in their life because Kerala I have seen, like many people end up in committing suicide because they drink every day. They drink. They go to their house. They will beat up their wife, children, abuse their children, and then they will say, and everybody will cry. They will come together. Next day, they will say, from tomorrow, I'll stop drinking. Husband will say, and everybody is again back in the family. This thing again. Next day evening, some of his friends or some influences, he will again go back to that thing. So all these are connected. So if you slip on one, you have the chance or tendency of moving to all these 4. Okay, so Prabhupada actually said in whoever is connected to Krishna Conscious Society in ISKCON, they must follow these 4 principles. Okay, so if I am not able to follow one principle, I can gradually take help. Okay, so that help is primarily from Prabhupada and Prabhupada books. Next, you should befriend a guy who is actually following these principles as per the Shastras, and you should develop a trust or a relationship which is based on trust, and then you should slowly diverge. Prabhuji, if it's like Prabhu, okay, so one Prabhu is having, like, they are coming as new to the satsang, okay, and he accepts that these are regulative principles, these are meant to purify me. So they will say, okay, Prabhu, I have a problem like this. Okay, I tend to gamble once in a week or when I am in this town or something like that. So what should I do? Then this Prabhu also says, yeah, I too know some devotees who used to do like this, but then they got out. So So he will give spiritual and material solution for that. So basically, this devotee whom you are befriending is actually acting on behalf of your spiritual master or Prabhupada. He is a representative of this one. So in spiritual life, you should have a spiritual master, living spiritual master, which whom you surrender, whom you take shelter from. Okay? So the immediate instructions you can't get, because your spiritual master maybe somewhere in another part of a country or a continent. Okay, so practically minute to minute or a day to day, what do you call it, instructions or confusions you cannot clear directly with your spiritual master. So ideally we should take shelter from senior devotees who are following the spiritual master perfectly. So then following regulatory principle is a cakewalk. Okay, there is no problem in following following the regulatory principles. So that is the first step of becoming this thing. Okay, so that is the seventh. So we actually, those who came late, we are reading actually from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, chapter 8 verses 8 till 12. So we are covering almost 5 verses in a row. Okay, to shorten the purport, we are referring to Ishopanishad, okay, the book called Ishopanishad. So Prabhupada is given in short. So the 8th one must be fixed up in the tenets of revealed scriptures. That means you should read and understand and be convinced of the things mentioned in the scriptures. So it's like you read Bhagavad Gita every day. So then when incidents in life happens, you can relate it with what you read daily from these books. Okay, say many times, like it so happens many times that whatever is said in the scriptures might not be immediately convincing for you. Okay, because it happens in stages. Okay, you don't have, like, first thing is that we are very dull-headed. Okay, see, if you read a science book or a physics book, we can easily understand because we have been trained in that way for how many years, like 15 years, first 15 years, our brain is full of physics, chemistry, maths, whatever, right? English, whatever. So we have not been trained in spiritual reading or anything like that from our young age. So in the beginning we'll feel like everything is Greek and Latin. Okay, Sanskrit, you have difficulty in Sanskrit, but then that can be resolved by slowly reading one by one words. Say it's like some words will become very easy once you understand and all. So scriptures will tend to reveal in time. Okay, because just by reading we can understand scriptures. By sufficient amount of service, by the mercy of the spiritual master, all those things affect our understanding. Okay, so you read Bhagavad Gita today, 5 years after you read Bhagavad Gita, you will have 2 different interpretations. In the sense, what you read and gained from Bhagavad Gita sloka. Say today we are reading, right, 8th sloka number 8, this thing. So say 1 year after I am reading the same sloka, I will get a higher understanding of that sloka. So it will keep on reading. So that's why Prabhupada actually said about this one. Like, see, he only wrote all these books, okay, and he is taking classes from these books, and even sometimes he hears also some of the disciples. He takes classes. Prabhupada also hears, he sits and hears. Okay, so Prabhupada asks is one of his disciples, have you ever seen any man, any author, okay, reading his own books? Say Penguin publishers, you would have seen, right? Somebody like, say, Chetan Bhagat publishes a book. Will he really read that book every day in the morning, Bhagavatam class? Will he read? I don't think even if he reads once, right? After proofreading, that is the only read that he'll do, right? So the author himself says that this is not worthy to be read. The author himself is saying that's the thing. But Prabhupada here, he actually takes every day Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class. Not at least once he will read his own books. Okay, Krishna book, this thing. So that actually means that it is written via medium of Srila Prabhupada, Krishna himself has written all this. So that's the conviction we should have in scriptures. Otherwise, it's like our exam. Like in our 10th exam, we used to have this kind of a dilemma. Okay, so 10th normally is very, I don't know. Nowadays in Kerala, it's not very important. In our day, it is like if you pass 10th, no, your life is. If you pass in high grades, your life is set. I think it was there like that, right? Maybe in all of our generation, it is like that. Nowadays, everybody passes. Like I think the result came 96.6% or something like that. Grade also, they will not. So those times, I studied in a Christian school. Okay, so before the exams, there is a ritual that you go to the church to pray. Okay, and that exam happened to be a biology exam. Okay, biology exam. I am standing in front of chapel. That's what you call the Christian setup, right? Everybody, invariably, all the 10th class students, they come and pray, saying that, "Oh Lord, please pass me with flying colors." Okay, but then you know what we study in 10th class? Darwin theory. Okay, that is one of the things we study in this thing. So Darwin says that we have evolved from a one-celled organization, one-celled living entity, and then that evolved into a fish, amphibian, mammals, birds, all those things. Finally, from monkey came us. Right? Basically, Darwin is saying our forefather was a monkey. So we are actually praying to God the 10th examination to pass an exam.
So if a Darwin theory question comes, I can write it.
So basically, our understanding is so childish, right? We are going to pray what is said against God to God Himself, right? So this is our state of education. Okay, we don't even realize. I didn't even realize then. Now I am realizing. Okay. We go to temple also, right? We go to temple also for the same thing. Now, yeah. So that's the hold that you have in scriptures. Okay. So read every day, and this is one. When I was new to Krishna consciousness, I used to read a lot. Okay, I used to read a lot. But when you progress, right? When you say you have spent little more years in Krishna consciousness, you tend to read little. Okay, and then reading becomes almost like, okay, maybe some days you read, some days you don't read, like that. So basically, what is happening is that it depends on our faith. Okay, when faith decreases, in scriptures decreases, we also stop reading. But if we have faith in scriptures, we'll always read. Okay, but then in our case, we cannot do anything. Only thing is to forcibly read scriptures by finding a time slot. Okay, say, Krishna, I don't have faith in your books. We can pray. Please give me some faith to understand these things by reading Srila Prabhupada books. With that small prayer, you can read before something very like you like an activity. You say that only if you read for 50 minutes, I'll do that activity. That activity you'll do for sure. Okay, that may be a Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious activity. But that before that activity, you will do this. Maybe you read newspaper daily. Okay, you are a man, you reads newspaper invariably. You make a condition that before I read newspaper, I will finish 3 pages from Bhagavad Gita. Then that reading will happen. Otherwise, it will keep on dragging. Okay, so many of our senior devotees, they read a lot, and we can also see their progress. Prabhu, आपको कुछ बोलना है? कुछ?
Someday will never.
Sorry?
Someday will never.
Someday will never come. So forcibly you have to do it. Anybody has any comments? I think in this audience, I think Anjali Mataji reads, right? How like, what is your schedule? We can actually, because basically we want to improve on this reading thing. Can you share, like, how do you find time, or what is your schedule of reading? So she's actually waiting to grab that opportunity. Okay. So basically she doesn't read, she loves reading, or she relishes reading. That is her attitude. So that stage she has attained. So आप पहले कैसे how did you develop this one?
I like reading books from my readings.
Oh, okay.
At the age of 16, I got completed the first time.
Okay.
So that time I started reading and
Bhagavatam. So Mataji was blessed by Krishna, saying that you read. Whatever I give you, you read. Right? So Mataji has finished Bhagavatam 2-3 times, right? How many? One time. Now you are going for Chaitanya Charitamrita? Finished one time. Okay, so now I think what else he has to read? You'll have to again read, I think that's all. So we can actually take some good suggestions from Mataji. And Prabhu, Braise Prabhu, many of us read daily. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we will progress on that. Okay, so reading is one important thing, and that is apart from the 4 regulative principles, that is one thing we have as a do. Okay, you must read. Okay. The 4 regulative principles you should not do. Okay, so we normally say when you are a beginner, even if you are not able to follow regulative principles completely, you should concentrate on the do's, right? Say I am not able to stop gambling, but still I should read so that someday I'll stop gambling. So I am not able to say leave non-veg, but because of that you should not stop chanting. Okay, oh no, आज non-veg खाया, मंदिर नहीं जाएंगे, जब नहीं करेंगे, book नहीं read करेंगे. It is not like that, because anyway you know that you are completely at starting level. So you have to start somewhere. Okay, so you should chant even if you are feeling unclean because of eating non-veg. So these things you should never leave. Okay, say you will improve by the understanding of these blessings. Okay, yeah. So the 9th one is the 9th point that Prabhupada is saying. Okay, one should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization. There, what is saying, bro? Again. So, any activity which you think is detrimental to your Krishna conscious.
Renunciation of objects of sense gratification.
Okay, that's the 9th one. Correct, no? So if you involve in sense gratification, say, okay, I'm taking a very, very naive example. Say for a movie, okay, a very pious movie has come in a theater. Okay, you say उसमें क्या है? मैं मूवी जाता है 3 घंटा एसी में बैठ के मूवी देखता है. So प्रभु जी ऐसे स्ट्रिक्ट कैसे बन सकता है प्रभु? थोड़ा मूवी तो चलता है ना, मतलब that's what the immediate reaction we have, no? What is so bad that you go and see a normal movie? What is so bad? So basically it is actually movie में जो कहानी है, whatever this thing is, it is actually giving you ideas about sense gratification. See, movie is all about, like we right, okay, say somebody is oppressed of justice, he will take revenge, all those things, right? So basically we feel more relatable to that character, because maybe in our life also something would have happened and we are not able to take revenge or something like that, or so romance or whatever. So in whatever in our real life that couldn't happen, movies are giving that vent. Okay, saying that okay, ये movie देखा अच्छा लगा. That means you also relate to that character, and people say, oh, cinematography, music and all, but basically it is like activating your senses. So उसका effect उस time पे नहीं होगा. In the coming days it will happen. Okay, so the movies will generally promote all this regulative principles. Breaking all these regulative principles. If you see, they know that in movies they write, right, because they have a regulation saying that smoking is injurious to health, right, or smoking causes cancer. Movies में नीचे लिखा होता है, लेकिन वो हमारा हीरो क्या बड़ा एक सिगरेट पीता है ना. Normally that happens, right? So everybody knows that smoking is bad, and to the extent you should see the duplicity in companies, in organizations. Okay, in organizations smoking is not allowed. Okay, inside organization, but then 2-3 पेड़ होगा, और जो भी कंपनी आप वर्क करते हैं ना, you would have seen in UST and all, right? There are some trees somewhere There they go and smoke. Nobody says anything. Okay, there is an HR policy. Everything is there. So these things are allowed because many of the senior employees or even the CEO himself doesn't follow this. So smoking, drinking, non-veg, illicit affairs, this all happens normally in a life. In our day-to-day life, this all happens in varying degrees. Okay, maybe the degrees are here and there. This thing. So when as we move away from this civilization of material sense gratification, all this movie going and all this like social gathering involving all these things, we will be protected from that. Okay, so that's what we should say, that we should refrain from practices. So many people say this. Okay, I think in your, I think Prabhu, somebody like you can relate. Okay, or somebody who has to go for a party or a dinner because client is involved in it, or it's like a party which your job demands. Okay, such situation comes up, you are not going, but then it is like part of your job that you go attend a party. Maybe the client will even will be drinking liquor and all. Okay, such cases happen. So that is like normal in our current this thing. So such cases, what should somebody do? Okay, this I have personally heard from my spiritual mentor. That so he was an auditor in PwC, okay, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So he used to he must attend these gatherings. Okay, and they will give this liquor glass to him. It's like a normal thing. Like if you say no, right, then you are treated as an outcast. Okay, you are not in that team and all those things. So he has to take a glass. So what he does is that he goes normally, he will just act, okay, drinking and all those things. He goes to a garden where the pot is there, no? He just throw in it. So that is what is Krishna consciousness. Okay. So now, if you are attached to drinking, you will tend to drink it. Okay. So if you are, but then you know that this is not good for me. So even in an environment, a very negative environment, right, where this is surcharged with material impulses, he can do that because he has this protection of scriptures. So there are ways to escape from this situation. So altogether we should refrain from activities which are against our spiritual progress. Absence of false ego. That is 10th, bro. Okay, that maybe after that 10. Okay. The 10th point here is, I'll tell you, one should not accept more than what he requires for the maintenance of the body. वो absence of self ego से पहले कुछ है? नहीं. So yeah, so this part, okay. So we identify with the body, or we'll cover one more. So 11th one, one should not falsely identify himself with the material covering of the gross body, nor consider as his own those who are related with this body. That means relatives or your near and dear ones. Okay, so one should not accept more than what he requires of the body, and one should not consider this body as yours and the body that of the near and one as yours. वो point कौन सा था अभी? Absence of false ego. He should not think about himself as well. So on that count, normally we are actually, what do you call it? We don't even think that we are not this body. Okay, that is the first this thing. We think, okay, for hair I need L'Oreal shampoo. Okay, for body I need soap. Okay, for what do you call it? For grooming I would need a full set. Then only I can be presentable and all those things. Right? I mean, mostly Matajis can relate to it. Okay, I'm not singling out. even days, like even Prabhuji's also has now equal amount of opportunity. Okay, they also have saloon and all those things. So now, how do you, how can you how can you get out of this? What do you call it? Luxury spending on your body. Okay. So Prabhupada is saying, first you understand that body is like a covering for you. Okay, it's like you are not the body. The body belongs to you, right? If we say my body, okay, I am different from this gross this body. Now, like so first you understand this one, then you know whom to care for, right? Now I know before I care for the body, I should care for me, right? It's like car and the driver. Okay, so driver is the living entity here, because of which the car moves. Okay, आप कार को वॉश करेंगे, उसको चमकाएंगे, उसको पेट्रोल डालेंगे, ये सब करेंगे. ड्राइवर को एक ब्रेकफास्ट में नहीं देंगे तो he will die, right? Basically the car won't move after some time. So that is what exactly we are doing. Okay, we are going to detailing center, car detailing center. Like that we are going to the beauty parlor, right? Basically that is exactly what's happening. So they will have saying, okay, skin whitening or hair straightening, all these things they have, right? Like very costly this thing. I don't know how much it is. Maybe some 500 or 1000 or above that. Okay. So and this parlor, suppose if you go once and finish it off, no. For every like I don't know, like at least once in a month we have to go to parlor to keep that same grace and all, right? So then I remember, long back, like around 15 years or 16 years back, in the IT industry when I was working in Bombay, okay, one girl, okay, and she's very new, like fresher, okay, and I was also like 3-4 years experience. She came and she was talking to me and all those things, and then I naturally talked, and then she left. We talked about the work we are doing. Then again she came. Okay, again she came, and then she said, "You didn't notice my hair." So I said, "Arey kya? What happened to hair now suddenly?" Okay. She said, I just went to the beauty parlor, spent 500 rupees. Those days our salary was around 18,000 rupees. So 500 rupees, how much importance we have, right? She spent 500 rupees on that hair, and it will go in one wash. Okay. So you know how much instant this thing it is. So like that we do in a major scale. Okay, this is one example we can easily relate with, right? So we identify with the body. Say we do so many things which overcares our body and related things. Right? And the 12th point, Prabhupada says that one should always remember that so long as he has a material body, he must face the miseries of repeated birth, death, old age and disease. There is no use in making plans to get rid of these miseries of the material body. The best thing is to find out the means by which one may regain his spiritual identity. Okay. So now maybe this is for all of us who want to remain always young. Okay. There are medicines, right, which says Kaya Kalpa. There is a treatment in Ayurveda. If you know, there is a treatment in Ayurveda which says Kaya Kalpa Chikitsa. Okay. It's very costly. Okay. Exuberantly costly. It's like, let's say 65 lakhs, 1 crore. Yeah, that's like, people do that. People fly from foreign countries. And the problem is that if you do something wrong, right, instead of, you will die even. Death can happen, right? Now the modern science, Kaya Kalpa is Botox or tummy tucks or those things. Okay. But then Ayurveda actually rejuvenates somebody back to, say, if you are in your 40s or 50s, they will get back to your 20s. That happens. But you should know, there should be an expert physician for that thing. But the Prabhupada says, don't worry about those things. You should not make plans to get rid of these miseries. These miseries of birth, death, old age and disease will definitely happen. Okay. You can only postpone a little, right? Even if you are doing Kaya Kalpa and postponing your old age a bit, still old age will come. We will eventually die. Okay, so this miseries, we have to actually I mean, it's not that every day we are scared of these miseries, but then we should actually make plans to get out of these miseries by actually regaining our spiritual identity. That is the solution. Okay? It's not that we are by material plans right now. I think science is trying so much in this regard that how to make a man immortal, right? They say advancement of medicine or all these things. Technology will make you more and more in this direction. But then the suffering of all these four things will never end. Okay? So Prabhupada is saying don't that is not a solution, this is the only solution. You get back to your real condition. The 13th one is saying is about Prabhu, you also have that 13th one? 13th one you can identify by that? Detachment.
And freedom from interference with children's wife, home and marriage.
Okay, that is 13 and 14. Okay. So here it is said that one should not be attached to more than the necessities of life required for spiritual advancement. So attachment to more, you should not be attached. So what Prabhu said is renunciation. Okay. So it is not that you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't sleep. That is not detachment. Okay. It is said that whatever is necessities of life, you have to, even though you are not this body, it is your body. Okay. It is not somebody's body. Okay. Then we wouldn't have cared. It is your body. It's your responsibility. It is like a house is given to you. Okay. So you don't clean the house, you don't broom the house. It will be full of cobwebs and all those things. Then you will get diseased, right? Similarly, if you don't care for the body, it will become diseased. But then we don't want that. Okay. It is not that we should. It is said that we don't want to go to beauty parlor and we don't want to go to hospital as well. Both way. Okay. We should be hale and healthy. So for those things we should accept things. Okay. If this requires some treatment or some things or basically regulated ways of life, you eat in regulated time and quantity, the disease will go away, body will be taken care. And you should know, right, like when to eat, when to sleep, like what not to eat. All those things will help you. Similarly, renunciation means you should know what is necessary and what is not a necessary. Okay, आपको जो चीज necessity, मतलब spiritual life के लिए necessity, what is necessity and what is not a necessity, that you should accept and only accept that much. Okay, otherwise we will be over indulging in things. And this is a little tough. Okay, the next one is one should not be more attached to wife, children and home than is ordered in the religious scriptures. Okay. So naturally we'll say, right, okay, this is natural, and getting attached to your wife, children and home is not a big problem. Okay, getting attached to somebody's wife is a problem, right? That is normally we say, right? But it is said here that getting attached to your own wife more than what is ordained in scriptures. Scripture में दिया है. Naturally, right? When you see, you consider them more than you, basically, right? Because especially children, you think that they are your own part and parcel, so you will have same bodily attachment. It is not some divine feeling that you have. Actually, it is not a very divine feeling. It is a very material feeling. Okay? Because it is coming from my body, I am considering my children important. Okay. If it was somebody else's kids, right? Suppose, okay, I have kids and I have Pavan Kumar Prabhu's kids. Okay. I don't feel that attachment to this kid like I have to my, because even though she is also a girl, baby, she is almost of their age, but I don't feel that attachment, right? Because it is mine, my baby or my kid, I feel attached. It is not because I am attached to a kid. Eternally, any kid I am attached. It is not like that. So it is basically my bodily attachment is fueling my attachment to wife, my kids, and even to my relatives. Okay. So you should be attached to the extent of discharging your duty. Say you have to take care of your family. It is not that okay. The other extreme is that okay, I won't be attached So I won't take care of them. That extent also is not good. Okay, so you should be attached to the extent that is ordered. So thin line. So these thin lines are the problems. Okay, now once you get started in the spiritual life, right? You say, okay, Prabhuji, okay, अभी हम इतना attached है. You tell me how much attached should be, or how कम करना है ज़्यादा करना है. Those kind of questions will come. See, this is the generic instruction. Okay, when you practically apply these things in your life, right, you will have specific questions. Okay, specific questions for Nandu Prabhu, specific questions for Pavan Prabhu, because everybody is a different individual. They will have different issues or solutions in life. तो आपको जो प्रॉब्लम दिख रहा है तो वो मेरे को प्रॉब्लम नहीं दिखेंगे. ओके, लेकिन आपके लिए वो प्रॉब्लम आपका प्रॉब्लम है, इम्पॉर्टेंट है. ओके, सो फॉर ऑल दिस थिंग्स, राइट, यू शुड हैव somebody to guide you. सिर्फ बुक पढ़ने से we cannot understand all these things. That is what I am saying. You should read books and also take guidance from somebody who has read, understood and practiced all these things. Okay. So in every instruction it is there. Okay, I am just saying to iterate more and more. Even-mindedness. Okay. So one should not be happy or distressed in regard to the desirables and undesirables created by the mind. Okay. So Prabhupada says in the purport as even-mindedness. सुख या दुख में हम अटल रहेंगे, मतलब अचंचल रहेंगे, है ना? That is this thing. But is that achievable in our life? I mean, currently it is achievable. Even if it puncture in our ride, right, in the sense, upset, यही टाइम था इसको पंक्चर होने के लिए. That is the level of upset, frustration or depression we go into, right? So currently आज के ज़माने में ना सब कुछ एम्पलीफाई करके रिएक्ट करता है. से गाई, लाइक से इवन आई कैन सेंस दिस. से यू राइड on the highway, okay, somebody not giving side, I will honk, I will go furiously to hit him, all those things we will do, like in your, at least the younger age, we will do all those things. But then what is the point? See, if he doesn't move, then we cannot go. So we should think, okay, am I acting too much in distress? Because we are distress हमको affect कर रहा है. And when you are in a lot of joy, okay, बहुत खुश है, then you do things which normally you don't do. Like we give, say, the most things, like they say, no, don't give any promises when you are happy. So in Ramayana, there is a classic example, right? What was the example? Anybody can see. I wanted to interact with them. Yeah, Prabhu, you want to say? This one?
Give a
boon to her, Suhṛda gave boon to his favorite wife, right? Kaikeyi. So that boon because she saved his life in war. But then he was overjoyed in war and she said, whatever you want, I will give. But then Kaikeyi, what she did? Okay, Maharaj, I will ask when the time is right. Okay. And then she asked when his coronation happened and then Ram was sent away in exile. So they say when you are too much overjoyed, बहुत खुश है, तो किसी को ये सब नहीं देना, वर वगैरह मत देना, ठीक है? क्योंकि आप ओवरजॉयड, आप इवन माइंडेड नहीं है, इसलिए आपके हाथ से वो फिसल जाता है. So even mindedness. 16th Prabhu.
One question.
Prabhu, sorry.
We only think of negative things here. For example, you were given the example that other person want to go super fast. Okay. Let's say he simply means drive in his life. Everything went good, but at the end result went wrong.
End result?
Went wrong. So he has to go to a hospital and for emergency, somehow something better.
No, then we will do all those things, right? We'll put light.
In that situation also he will get angry and...
No, the problem there is that even in that situation, no, say there are ambulances running, okay, and ambulances are supposed to save life of the patient. वो ambulance इतना speed से जाएंगे that it itself kills 5 other people. Normally ऐसे you have heard this, no? Ambulance hit a truck, and the ambulance driver, all those people inside ambulance, everybody died. So what was his, uska motto kya tha? His original idea was to get this patient to hospital to save his life. He put his effort, but then
properly.
he didn't put as per the Shastra. As per Shastra, what he should have given is that, suppose, say he has to maintain a speed of 80 or 100 kilometers per hour. Okay.
Means he would have thought if he will go by that speed, the patient will die.
No, yeah, true. But then, even if you go that fast, then he will instantly die. He will also die. Okay, so the extreme, two extremes. If you go 20 kilometers per hour, patient will die. Okay, so now he has to think, should I overtake because there is a big risk? So let him go for 5 minutes in 40 kilometers per hour. After that, he can bagav. That also can happen, no? So only if you are even-minded, you can think like that. If you are not even-minded, then you will, नहीं जल्दी जाना ही है, कुछ भी हो, कैसे भी सिचुएशन हो, जल्दी जाना है. They say, no, जल्दी का अदर नाम शैतान होता है, क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में? हाँ ऐसे बोलता है ना, मतलब वो शैतान. Normally when you scam, right, when you scam people in online and all, तुरंत पेमेंट करना है. You have got calls, right? एक लिंक भेजा है, तुरंत भेजना है, नहीं तो आपका ऑफर चला जाएंगे. क्या है ऑफर? आपको स्कैम कर रहे हो. Okay, but then he is demoniac, so he knows that if you don't act quickly, you will think. If you think and act, scammer won't get his money. So you think and act in even-mindedness, then you can say, oh, something is wrong. Nobody will give me $10,000 for free, okay? Because I am in a lucky pot winner or a lottery winner. Nobody will give me like 10 lakh rupees if I go and give my account number, right? So we actually tend to, any confusion? So we actually tend to forget all these things when you are in the cusp of distress or happiness. So in distress, what people do is that people end their life. ऐसा ना, एग्ज़ाम फेल हो गया, कभी बेकार है मेरा लाइफ, 10th एग्ज़ाम फेल हो गया, मेरा बाकी सब लोग, मेरा माँ बाप क्या बोलेंगे, ओके, लेट मी commit suicide. But is there a solution? No, right? 10th is nothing compared to our life, right? But then many people are doing it. Why? Because the education is wrong, right? They are educated that, okay, only if you pass in 10th, you are a successful man, or at least आप जानवर नहीं है तो आपको 10th पास करना है. No, it is not like that, right? So the Prabhupada is actually exposing the whole material education and all these things. Okay, he will come to that. Okay, so constancy in unalloyed devotion to Krishna. So 16th point, one should become an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and serve him with rapt attention. Okay, so that word is important. Unalloyed. Alloy मालूम है ना आपको? Alloy. What do you mean by alloy? Combination of metals, right? Say copper and tin becomes, what do you call it? Brass or this thing like that, no? So stainless steel, these are all alloys. So actually, if you read books of Prabhupada, these are words which Prabhupada usually uses compared to other authors in the colloquial. That time, no? I mean, unalloyed and all, nobody uses that much. Embodied, unalloyed. Embodied is actually, says that one who has the body. So these are classic words in English. But then somebody say, okay, some other words they'll use. But then Prabhupada uses to enhance that. He uses the correct words to enhance the meaning. So unalloyed means you are only devotee of Krishna and nobody else. Unalloyed. But if you are a devotee of, so I'm saying, if you are a devotee of your own boss or your own husband, wife, and then also a devotee of Krishna, then you cannot be called as a unalloyed devotee. You can be called as a alloyed devotee of Krishna. Thoda bhog, thoda bhakti. So what Krishna is saying is that one should become an unalloyed devotee. Right now we are not. Okay? One should become. That is your aim. Unalloyed devotee. Yeah, even devotion to demigods also becomes an alloy. Yeah, आपका next क्या है bro? 17th.
Aspiring to life in a solitary palace.
Okay. So aspiring for a life in a solitary place. शांत जगह पे रहना या घर बसाना जो भी है. Basically you are not interested in hurry and business of the city life or in materialistic life. So Prabhupada is saying one should develop a feeling for residing in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere favorable for spiritual culture. ऐसा नहीं मतलब जो natural beauty observe करने के लिए enjoy करने के लिए नहीं. If you go also we will only go in that manner, right? Prabhupada is saying for improving your spiritual culture and thus avoid congested places where the non-devotees congregate. Okay. Typically, if you take any cities in India at least, they are heavily congested. Okay. So I have lived in Bombay. So Prabhu, we can say for Chennai, heavily congested, right? Prabhu, any other city? Bangalore? Jaipur. City means congested living. Okay. Now I used to feel like that. Kido makoda ki tarah rehna. Right? In Bombay, you literally like a cockroach. Okay. Because space is so less there, and I mean there are more people than cockroaches there. Utna kasht hai udhar. Still people want to. Still, when I got a transfer from Bombay to some other place, they said, Bombay chhod ke ja rahe hai? Bombay chhod ke kaise? They are saying, as if I am leaving heaven to hell. ऐसे पूछ रहा था कि बॉम्बे छोड़ के कैसे जा सकता है. And I was thinking, what are these guys thinking? Okay. For them, it is like Bombay means the abode of material enjoyment and the epitome of civilization. See, because they don't have an understanding like this. For me, Bombay was a suffering. Okay, the only thing was the temple was the only thing. Otherwise, Bombay is pure suffering. But then people who are not interested in spiritual life cannot understand that.
Detachment from the general mass of people.
Okay, detached from the general mass of people. One should become a scientist or philosopher and make research into spiritual knowledge, not material knowledge, recognizing that spiritual knowledge is permanent, whereas material knowledge ends with the death of the body.
Accepting the importance of self-realization.
19th. So the 19th one is accepting the importance of self-realization. So actually, this 18th, we read 18 points now, okay, which are supposed to be followed by a devotee. Okay, this 18, if you follow, you are guaranteed that you are self-realized. So if you follow this 18 this thing, so Prabhupada has given this thing. So if you follow 18, then this 19 is automatically achieved. Okay, so
Now, last is philosophical search for absolute truth.
sorry,
Yes, philosophical search for absolute truth.
philosophical search for absolute truth. Yeah, so that is the 18th one. We said no, one should become a scientist or a philosopher. Okay, so so basically, like this material advancement. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a very very vocal acharya about these things. So he said about material education is like you convert a human being to a animal or an ass. Okay. So we say, no, we say हम पगार लेके बच्चों को स्कूल भेजता है to make them educated. लेकिन भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर क्या बोलते हैं, तुम गधा बनाने के लिए भेजता है, स्कूल भेजता है गधा बनाने के लिए. Because education, the problem with education is that it is only aimed at matter. See, if you include Krishna in this education, it is not that you need not learn physics, chemistry, biology, English, maths, all the subjects. You should have Krishna conscious physics or Krishna conscious maths. So if you put Krishnaized education in this thing, then you can actually make them better than a human being or a demigod or a deva. currently what current school education is doing is that they're converting a normal human being into a Gada. And so that Gada will do only as per his thoughts, right? So that's what Prabhupada even says. So these boys, no, so mostly the boys we say because they cause a lot of problems. So you educate people and bring them to a level of animalistic life. So what can you expect from them? You can only expect creation of problems from them, right? वो गदाई जैसे काम करेंगे, then you will have problems. And they create problems for these old people who taught them, right? They only taught them all these things. So basically, you create problems for yourself and many other generations to come. So Prabhupada says, in Ishopanishad he says, actually this has very nice explained, it's a very, what do you call it, very relatable collection of, I think, 20 verses. Okay, it's one of the very prominent Upanishad. So you would have heard about 108 Upanishads, right? 108. So this comes, I think the most prominent Upanishad, what is the most prominent Upanishad in 108? We all know, but we all know that book. We have read that book also. 108 उपनिषद है, उसमें एक सबसे प्रथम है, that one उपनिषद. Shankaracharya also says. He says he drinks the milk. The basically Gita Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is the first Upanishad. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is the main Upanishad. So after that, Prabhupada has translated Sri Ishopanishad. And he refers to other Upanishads like Kathopanishad and all those things. But then he hasn't given a complete commentary on this, any other Upanishad. He only refers to Upanishads. So sorry, this has 18 verses, okay, not 20, 18 verses. It's a very, very scientific book. Okay. It gives you, if you are a devotee, what kind of a devotee you are. In the beginning, they say you are a Kanishta Adhikari, beginning stage. Okay. So in the Kanishta Adhikari stage, what you reckon is that Bhagavan ko manenge, bhakto ko nahi manenge. That is the stage. Bhagavan ko serve karna okay. You will serve God, but you would not like to serve devotees. That is, so basically, scripture is giving our stages for our own conscious recognition. Okay. So now we know, okay, हाँ, भगवान को मानता है, भगवान को जितना मानता है, उतना मैं भक्तों को नहीं मानता हूँ. That we can understand. So, in Ishopanishad it is said that these are knowledge and this anything outside this is considered. In Bhagavad Gita also same thing. So basically the same thing what I read, right? This was in mantra 10. 10th mantra of Upanishad, Ishopanishad. That is like 8 to 12 mantras in Bhagavad Gita. Okay? The same points are. So you find this parallel in different Upanishads. Same passages will come. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada says that you should actually cultivate knowledge and nescience together. You should learn material science and you should learn spiritual science. In the next verse of this Upanishad, 11th verse, it is said. 11th verse, it is said that you should cultivate both, but you should know what to use and in what condition. Okay? You should learn. It doesn't mean that, I mean, it's like to interact in the material world, you should learn. But that is not your primary purpose in life. Your primary purpose in life is to cultivate these 18 things. Okay? The other thing, मतलब काम चलाने के लिए हमको मतलब C++ you learn, but then it is not your, what do you call, जीवन का लक्ष्य C++ नहीं है. C++ might be March 12th का वो एग्जाम के लिए C++ ठीक है. जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है? ये 18th humility, शौचम, that acharya upasanam. Those things are what we are supposed to have as lakshya. So now we are misdirected to believe that whatever we see in schools, college and all that, those are lakshya. These are peripheral activities. One Saturday program, right? Only on a Saturday we do this in the province. But we have to make this a daily prominent thing. Other things as less prominent. So as you grow in spiritual life, that will happen naturally. Okay, so with this I'll end the session. I think it took a little more time. So any other questions, any pressing questions we can take. Otherwise we can have one-to-one discussion. Anything?
Who Kripa you told Kripa?
Kripa.
You are telling cockroach, flies and all those different house.
Okay.
So put more light over that.
We put?
More light over that. We should not kill this mosquito and others.
Actually, we should see in old. So your question is, Prabhu, ये सब हमारे घर पे है, हम मार भी नहीं सकते हैं. So actually, Prabhupada says very beautiful thing in this regard. You know why cockroach comes? Mataji should know. You know why cockroach comes?
It is not clean in city.
Huh?
It is not clean.
It is not clean because of which it comes. If you are keeping it very clean, no, cockroach won't come. Rat also doesn't come.
That one comes very well after cleaning.
No, that is because we are not keeping that place clean. हमारे अंदर गलती है, हम मान रहे हैं. So if you are not clean, cockroach will come, hit मारना ही पड़ेगा या कुछ करना ही पड़ेगा. So basically problem is our unclean habits. And then उसको मिटाने के लिए हम और कर्म कर रहे हैं. It will go like that. Then slowly, when you read, chant and all those things, you will also be little cleaner than before. थोड़ा ना पहले वो घर दिखता था एकदम इधर, लेकिन वक्त बनने के बाद थोड़ा और सुधर जाता है, और सुधरेंगे, then it will naturally go away. Similarly, mosquitoes. So mosquitoes, we'll say, okay, what can we do for mosquitoes? So mosquitoes के लिए, like if you keep nice aromatic thing, like aromatic this thing, mosquitoes won't come. अब कर्पूर जलाएंगे, ये सब जलाएंगे ना, mosquitoes नहीं आएंगे. तो आप घर में आरती करेंगे तो mosquitoes नहीं आएंगे. Actually बोलेंगे तो, मतलब continuously if you are doing आरती, and actually when somebody comes to my house, see, if I am living in my house, I cannot sense that smell because I am there, right? I am there because I am continuously there. Because one of my friend came, an old school friend, okay. He came to my house. He said, "Your home smells nice, aromatic." हमने सोचा हम क्या करते हैं? 1 or 2 अगरबत्ती is what you put. That has an effect in this whole house. That you are not doing for a house के लिए नहीं है, भगवान के लिए करते हैं तो normally वो भी add हो जाता है. And in old Kerala houses, you have seen this with rice powder. They will mix in water and they will put in walls and all. वो ज़माने में, that those times they used to have wooden houses and all. Okay. So if you have seen wooden houses, you have patches of hands here and there with glass and all those things. Actually, they are doing this for what, you know? Yeah, Prabhu, you can tell.
Sir, it's for food of some insects.
Insects and all. Yeah. So basically, those insects which don't get food, they can actually, say ants, lizards, they can actually take this and eat. So they are actually giving that much importance to people living inside your home other than your children and wife. उतना हाई सेंस ऑफ रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था. अभी हम ये 2 बच्चों को पालने में ही हमारा हाल हो जाता है. So people of spiritual caliber, they can do 100 times more things than us. Okay? तो हम जल्दी नहीं बदल सकते, लेकिन स्लोली थोड़ा फैन बंद करेंगे तो घूम थोड़ा करके ये काम तो क्लियर है. आपको आप और सिचुएशन सोच रहे नहीं, एक्सट्रीम सिचुएशन एंड out of this context things also will come. I agree that, but then I am saying majorly this is what is the real life is. बाकी exceptional case है. When you say you yourself are ill, then I cannot say you are not your body, because if I say like that and I don't go to doctor, I will die. Then I can't even sense what is spiritual realization and all those things. So you take care to the extent it is required, not overdo it, right? So the grooming hai, it is not that like So it's like I don't shave for years together because I am not over indulging in maintaining my body. Nee, shave karna hai so that you look clean and haircut karna hai. It is required. So it's like the other extreme. That is what is curtailed here. तो बॉडी को साथ लेके कैसे कृष्णा कॉन्शियस बन सकता है विदाउट हार्मिंग द बॉडी एंड विदाउट ओवर पैम्परिंग द बॉडी. So when you do this Krishna conscious things, other things naturally reduce. It is not that, say, women, it's like, say, for Matajis, I am saying. So they have to be presentable, or they have to look clean and this thing. So it is not that you have to apply a lot of things to make it look real. Okay? So normally, as Prabhuji bolta hai, if you follow devotional things, right, naturally your face will glow. You save a lot of money, right? Say you don't have to use Fair and Lovely or whatever, I don't know, whatever cream that we use nowadays, right? So you naturally glow. So everything, we can save a lot of money also if you follow the spiritual thing. See, gambling jana, you know how expensive it is, right? Say, what is there, veg or non-veg, which is expensive? Veg khana hai, non-veg khana? Non-veg khana expensive, you know? Veg is expensive.
Kerala only.
Or maybe Kerala. In other places actually, yeah.
Sir, I am veg, that's why
You're?
Sir, I am veg.
You're veg. Okay. No, sometimes like you go for a chicken plate or something. Compared to that, a mixed vegetable curry is little more cheaper, right? Compared to this one. So if you drink and not drink, you save money. So Prabhupada says, because of our movement, lot of your unnecessary bills are reduced. Liquor bill, other bill, like what you call non-veg, kharidne. All these things gets reduced. So overall, Prabhupada is actually pushing us towards a very clean, healthy material life and a spiritual life. So I think it took so long. Okay. So thank you for bearing me. Okay. Vanchakalpada Vibhyasya Kripasindhubhyasya Hare Krishna. So